Ahri, the Nine-Tailed Fox, has had a rework, which I think means a new theme. My name's Marco. I'm a pro opera singer turned voice actor. I love talking about, analyzing, and discussing video game music from an emotional perspective. I don't know anything about Ahri, the Nine-Tailed Fox, but I am assuming they're a fox. Let's listen. Whew, I don't think there's a single league track that has left me as speechless as this one. There's an element of kitsune here. Kitsune being Japanese folklore, foxes that possess paranormal abilities that increase as they get older and wiser. According to the yokai lore, all foxes have the ability to shapeshift into human form, while some folktales speak of kitsune employing the ability to trick others. As foxes in folklore often do, other stories portray them as faithful guardians, friends, and lovers. And it's an interesting thing because that really feels accurate musically, right? Because if we start over, I was so speechless during this. This thing is so gorgeous. You know, this music is by Yutaka Yamada, and between the vocals of Baraka May and the soloists with the viola and the cello, Andrew Duckles and David Lowe, like this is sublime. So listen to why I think this, and then we'll dive into some lore. It's a rework, so I'm not entirely sure if the gameplay stuff will be accurate, but let's check it out after I do some thinking here. So first of all, obviously the soloist is representing Ahri, but then you that to me immediately puts me in like Japanese folklore. I'm certainly no Japanese music expert, but when I hear that, I think Japanese. We've got like this sort of this flute mixed with this beautiful stringed instrument. It sounds like, so there's this real effervescent quality. There's a gentility there. There's a lot of love that comes out of Ahri when I listen to this. Like check out why I think that in 1 second. Right here. Swell into. Like that. Oh, God, that is gorgeous. So that to me is like, I've got you, baby. Don't worry. Don't worry. I feel like Ahri's probably a healer or some sort of like support DPS. So there's this essence of like this like warm embrace and this feeling of love and this outpouring of like, hi. There's almost like a flirtatious elegance to Ahri. And I hear that because of the way the strings go and the way there's a legato in the strings there that really gives this feeling of effervescence of like elegance and class, but also like like this playful energy, but also it's very like loving and tender, if that makes sense. And here it's very bouncy, but it's warm, it's loving, it's friendly, it's affectionate. You have this piano duet with the viola, and then this flute, and then this incredible drumming here. This is where we don't mess with me though. I'll protect you. Like Ahri's very focused. Almost like this mystical element here, and then the way that this is moving, she's quick reflexes. There's this duality between the viola and the cello here. So elegant. I love this percussion underneath. That is gorgeous. And then it has this beautiful fade with this twinkling and this like a very light energy. Honestly, that may be my favorite theme I've heard thus far. So I don't know how old her gameplay stuff is, but let's see, because it's a rework.
Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring Ahri, the nine-tailed fox. Ahri is a mobile mage assassin. Utilizing skill shots, dashes, and clever positioning, Ahri excels at taking out single targets and disrupting the enemy team. Ahri's passive is Soul Eater. Every time one of her spells hits an enemy, she gains stacks of Soul Eater.
Oh.
Once it reaches its cap, her next spell will enjoy significantly increased spell vamp. Orb of Deception fires out Ahri's orb and then pulls it back, dealing magic damage on the way out and true damage on the way back. I take Orb of Deception at level 1 and max it by level 9. Foxfire creates 3 orbiting flames around Ahri. These flames then seek out and damage any nearby enemies who wander too close.
Not a support DPS.
Single targets can be hit multiple times, but extra hits deal reduced damage. I take Foxfire at level 4 and max it last. Charm sends out a skill shot nuke that damages and charms the first enemy it hits. Charmed enemies are slowed and walk toward Ahri.
Charm. You hear that. You hear that in the music. You hear that in the music. I still got it. Really interesting. Charm, literally, there's a heart. That's cool. Let's check out some voice lines.
Brom, your heart is like a warm blanket in a winter storm. Your warmth, I'll keep it close to my heart, Brom. Our destiny still awaits us, Ilawi. Ilawi, all paths led us to this moment. I am no longer lost, Lilia, nor do I still want to forget. Your dreams were beautiful, Lilia. Revenge will consume you, Captain. Don't lose yourself like I did. It isn't weak to move forward, Sarah. It takes strength.
Okay. Again, there's this like warmth there that's really coming across, some like focus on love and looking after people. There's a warmth and a delicacy there, which I think, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Ahri's origins are a mystery even to her. She has no clue as to the history of her Vastian tribe or their place among the rest. Save for the twin gemstones she has worn her entire life. In fact, her earliest memories are of running with ice foxes in the northern reaches of Shan Chan. Though she knew she was not one of them, they clearly saw her as something of a kindred spirit and came to accept her within the pack. In that wild predatory existence, Ahri nonetheless felt a deeper connection to the forests around her. In time, she came to understand that this was the magic of the Vastaya that coursed through every fiber of her being, and the realm of spirits that lay beyond. With no one to teach her, instead she learned to call upon this power in her own ways, most often using it to quicken her reflexes in pursuit of prey. If she was careful and close enough, she also found she might soothe the panicked deer, so that it remained serene and calm even as she and her packmates sank their teeth into its flesh. The world of mortals was as distant and unsettling to Ahri as it was to the ice foxes, but she felt drawn to it for some reasons that she could not explain. Humans in particular were coarse, gruff creatures, and when a band of huntsmen camped nearby, Ahri watched them from afar as they went about their grim business. When one of them was wounded by a stray arrow, Ahri could feel his life seeping away. Knowing nothing but the instincts of a predator, she savored the spirit essence leaving his body, and through it gained brief flashes of his memory. The love he had lost, the lover he had lost in battle, and the children he had left behind when he came north. Ahri subtly pushed his emotions, from fear to sorrow to joy, and comforted him with visions of a sun-soaked meadow as he died. Afterwards, she found that human words now came to her easily, like something from a half-remembered dream, and Ahri knew that time had come to leave her pack behind. Keeping to the fringes of society, she felt more alive than ever. Her predatory nature remained, but she was caught up in a riot of new experiences, emotions, and customs across Ionia. Mortals, it seemed, also became fascinated by her in return, and she often used this to her advantage, draining their essence while charming them with recollections of beauty, hallucinations of deep longing, and occasionally dreams colored by raw sorrow. She grew drunk on memories that were not her own, and exhilarated in ending the lives of others, even if she felt the grief and woe she brought to her victims. She experienced heartbreak and elation and tantalizing flashes that left her craving more. She wept at the images of brutal invaders from faraway lands of iron and stone. It was overwhelming, but she sensed her own power fading whenever she tried to stay away, and could not help but partake again and again, as much as it pained her heart to do so. Through countless stolen visions, Ahri began to glimpse more about the Vastaya. It seemed she was not alone, with many tribes now having somewhat troubled relationships with mortals. Eventually, she learned of a rebellion aiming to restore their people to some kind of former glory. This, perhaps, was the link to a past she could not remember. With the twin gemstones in hand, Ahri had set out in search of others like her. No more will she rely on borrowed memories and unfamiliar dreams. And if any trace of her tribe still exists in Runeterra, then she is determined to find it. You hear the curiosity in that flute and in the opening section here. I think this is purity. This is purity of having grown up with the foxes, and there's this like sort of delicate animalistic side of her. The swelling here is determination and focus. God, that is so distractingly beautiful. Oh, I love this piece. Listen, I'm going to stop there because this video is getting really long. I could literally listen to this like ad nauseum. This is so good. This is phenomenal music. Ugh, that's good. If you like this sort of stuff, there's tons of League content on the channel as well as tons of other video game content as well. Feel free to like, subscribe. It helps boost the channel to other League fans and video game fans. I super appreciate it. And as always, thanks a ton, and I'll see you on the next video. Kled is next. Bye.